because the Ukrainian diaspora in both Canada and the US has not invested in politics. What do I mean by it? It hasn't invested in encouraging young Ukrainian Canadians to go into politics and to go into journalism. And therefore there are very few members of the Canadian Parliament or Senate who are of Ukrainian Canadian background. That is not surprising in many ways, because the institutions that we invested into in academia in the United States and Canada tended to focus on culture, language, ethnic groups, ethnic culture, and also history, not on politics, not on political science. And this happened at a time when, since the 1980s and 90s, there's been a refocus of influence of ethnic groups amongst Canadian political parties, with the growth of South Asian and East Asian immigration coming into Canada. This has inevitably meant that they have the ear of politicians to maybe to a greater extent than East Europeans and Ukrainians. Let's not forget two other factors at work here as well. One factor, which is generally across the case amongst young people everywhere, not just in Canada, young people today are not interested in politics in the way that we were interested in politics when we were growing up. And that's true when you go around Sum or Place today. Young Ukrainian Canadians are not interested in politics in the same way we were. There is a peak in interest when there's like the Orange Revolution or Euromaidan, but on a general basis there isn't. And this was seen, I remember on the 24th of August last year, outside the Russian consulate in Toronto. There was a protest which I attended. This was in the week where Russia invaded Ukraine. You know, when Ukrainian forces were about to defeat the separatists and Russian forces invaded on the same day of Ukrainian independence. You would think there would be tens of thousands of people outside the Russian consulate, because it's A, celebrating Ukrainian Independence Day, and B, Russia's invaded Ukraine. There were only 150 people there. This is Toronto. And most of those were from the new immigration which came to Canada.